Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Work in the 21st with Stephen Matusiak. Today what we're going to talk about is the business life cycle. I ordered something from Best Buy and I wanted to return it, so I had to go to the store. When I went in, I noticed that it was pretty sparse. There weren't a lot of people shopping, and most of the workers were just kind of standing around. I've been thinking about this quite a bit lately, the idea that people don't really shop in brick and mortar stores anymore. Everyone buys everything on Amazon and other online retailers, and that's what puts so many companies out of business over the past decade, and that's why malls are dying and everything else. But then I started trying to figure out if that's a bad thing. Am I a bad person for shopping online? Am I doing something wrong, putting people out of work? Should I shop at brick and mortar stores just to keep people afloat? It was at that point that I took to Google with the search term, "Is there a life cycle to companies?" I wanted to know if there's a natural evolution to a business, and whether that natural evolution included death at the end. Is it normal for companies to go out of business? This suddenly felt like a really important question to me. If all companies are doomed from the start, you better make sure that you're at a company that is far away from the finish line. What does that even look like? How do I know if I'm working for a company in decline? Or better yet, how can I tell on a job posting or in an interview that the company is near death? I was pleasantly surprised with Google's ability to find a great post on the business life cycle. CFI has a great blog post and YouTube video on this subject, links in the description below, but I thought I would step through their graphic for a minute. Discovering the business life cycle confirmed that yes, all companies are headed toward a decline and potential demise. You see, there are startup costs, you grow quickly, things are good for a while, and then splat, things start to go south. On a graph like this, it kind of makes sense. It's pretty intuitive that companies follow this path. So we know that companies can start and stop, they're born and they die. So this means that you really need to start paying attention to when you're applying to companies, or if you're getting comfortable at a company and trying to figure out if it's time to leave. But in reality, you need to start thinking about this sooner, like college and university. See, it's not just businesses that follow this life cycle, it's industries too. Sure, the industry life cycle is typically longer and more drawn out, but if you're investing 4 or more years plus thousands in tuition, you don't want to commit to a dying industry. The worst part about this life cycle is that most people that are in the decline phase, be it in business or in an industry, they aren't aware of it. Forbes says if revenue has declined for 3 consecutive quarters, you probably entered the declining phase 2 or so years ago. Yeesh. So business owners are only aware of a decline in their business 2 years in? What chance do regular employees have? What's even worse is thinking about what schools would do when an industry starts to die. Do you think that they're just happy to phase out the program, fire all of their professors, and try to find a new industry to focus on? Hell no. If enrollment starts to decline because jobs seem sparse, most schools will try to ramp up enrollment with marketing and more focused efforts, getting out to high schools, accepting lower grade students than before. This is a big problem, but one that's easier to spot than you'd think. The answer is to look at young people and the movements that have begun. People complain all the time about millennials and how their things are changing. Nobody wants to talk on the phone anymore. Young people don't care about customer experience and customer service. Well, those young people are dictating what is and is not important, and what will and will not be relevant anymore. Do some research and get a good feeling for whether your business or industry is set up to deliver in the 21st century in a digital, real-time, effortless, and amazing experience. That's where the bar is now. Companies are facing more pushback than ever to be socially and environmentally responsible, to be agile and adaptable, and to adopt new technologies. If your company isn't doing that, or worse, if the industry as a whole isn't doing it, reconsider. Or, if you're in the position to, innovate. Innovation is the only cure to the inevitable death of a company. If your company can innovate and provide all of the experiences I discussed earlier, you might have a shot at it. If your company isn't interested in investing in innovation, it might be time to dust off and update the old resume. Speaking of which, I'll be talking about resume building in my next video. So, Thanks for watching. For those of you in the launch or growth phase of your company or industry, have fun. For those of you heading into the decline, it's time to innovate or move on. If innovation is something you're interested in, subscribe for more videos talking about artificial intelligence, increasing your worth for a company, and getting paid what you're worth. Cheers. Thanks, guys.